Welcome on YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to today's very different video on YouTube. And what you see on screen are a couple of bird feeders alongside a plant pond. I'm in my tool shed because I've decided to purchase something totally old, and it's this. This is, of course, a wild bird suet feeder, and it's called Super. And we're relying on two birds. We've got a black cap, and we've also got a goldfinch. And we need to rely on the goldfinch for one particularly obvious reason. The feeder costs about £3.49. And interestingly, when I purchased this bird feeder, of course, yes, it was on, today, as I'm making this video, is, of course, the 26th of April, Sunday the 26th of April of 2026. And if I take a look back, obviously that's what I'm going to be doing in this video. But I'm not sure if I've got some suet boars or fat boars. So I've got these. There's about 6 of these. I paid for about £1.20 for these. And that basically adds up to a total of about at least £4.69. That's quite relatively expensive. But I'm just going to go ahead and start unbagging this now. And I'm going to discuss about why it's becoming extremely difficult for me to feed the birds. And I'm actually going to wrench this out. This piece of artwork that's part of the bird feeder. I wonder how does this one work? How does it work for me? Okay, so it's got these hooks at the top, or is it at the bottom, of course? So you just, I don't know how do I work with suet bird feeders. It's a bit trickier because I'm not into these sort of feeders, but we're going to go ahead and have let me just close the shed a bit so that I can't have any extra noise that's around in my tool shed. I just made a bit of space, so I'm going to go ahead and start talking about bird feeders. And obviously we are on a bit of a wake-up call where we just had a bit of a controversial sort of move that we're now straightforward moving away. I don't know how do I get this thing up. Let me just go ahead and turn the brightness up a little bit more. And I just want to show you how the bird feeder actually works. So it's got like hooks. Is it on the top or is it on the bottom? I have no idea what that is. Pretty sure if I lift... Oh, okay, so you lift this on the top and then you load your fat balls inside. There's about 6 of these. And hopefully it should be more comprehensive. It should be much more better for the birds to feed on suet boars or fat boars. Although I do think that the number of these is definitely not that right. I don't know, I can pull these boars apart if I want to, but this is hyper essential if I want to go and start feeding my birds today, because according to the RSPB website and other several people who love feeding birds alike, there's been a new legislation change to how we should straightforward feed birds responsibly, because we've got this new disease called trichomoniasis that has been affecting about 80 to 70%, well, 70 to 80% of our declining bird species, more noticeably on finches, green finches and chaffinches and bullfinches. And it makes it really difficult for birds to swallow and basically eat the food that we normally tend to like. But this feeder is an alternative. It's a great and much more nicer alternative. Although I haven't really properly, it still is quite a very nicely packed and tightly made feeder. I could probably break this if I want to fit all of these guys up. And like so many other bird feeders, it's pressed to give them a nice wash for about a week, because obviously that will stop and reduce the risk of trichomoniasis, not just the birds but also other animals and humans as well. So it's a life-threatening disease to both humans and animals, of course, if you think about trichomoniasis. But nevertheless, I'm just going to go ahead and show you. Of course, yes, we've also got these seed feeders. I might as well just leave them until Halloween time. Probably the best opportunity to try and feed birds, I suppose, hey? But because now the weather has gone a little bit warmer, and because we're now getting up towards, spring and, well, actually, getting up towards summer and autumn, as we stretch all the way from spring, summer and autumn, we've got a lot of, bird diseases that have actually just been going around for quite some time now. I mean, we've already had avian influenza, but now we've got trichomoniasis. It's the new bird flu, if you ask me. let me just go ahead and grab the little chain sort of handle thing. I'm pretty sure these suet balls are actually going to be totally and utterly free. I don't think that's probably going to work. Can I just go ahead and start squishing these guys up? Maybe that will work. Don't think it might, but I'll try and do my best. I think that door is probably going to open, probably because it's a bit mighty too big. I'm probably thinking, I think I'm just sort of thinking it might be way too big for the bird feeders to occupy. And I'm sort of thinking, if I just crumble some of the food, some of the fat balls I've got, then it might be easy for that feeder to survive without actually having the latched door just to open and break apart. I wonder how it'll survive. Right, I should probably optimize the brightness. Right, I think the brightness on this tablet is still alright, and it's me using the suet feeder or fat ball feeder. I've actually planted and transplanted a lot of nasturtiums. I've actually got 3 of these. They'll hopefully grow a bit more taller from a couple of weeks' time. And I'm actually going to perch this beautiful looking bird feeder. I don't know. Maybe around here, actually. I think maybe this location here is a little bit nicer. I don't know. To me, that will also, when you get finches in your backyard garden, that will also prevent finches from actually getting trichomoniasis and then having to die within a couple of days. Okay, I'm just having a good hard look. We've actually got a lot of calendula seedlings. They've actually, I think they've actually accumulated quite a lot of water and moisture. And what is that seed? No idea what this is. I think these composts and soils, I don't know. Sorry, I can't even talk properly actually. These compost filaments have actually started to dry out. So I'm actually going to go ahead and start watering these again, so that I need to provide as much moisture again, even though it's about springtime, isn't it? Right, here we go. To provide as much moisture to the plants. Here we go. Yep. So nice, isn't it? Very nice day. Yep. I tell you what, there's nothing great than just having a selfie with. Where's that watering can? I can't even do it. My tablet case latch is taking over the video. But yeah, that was just me. Right, I need to go ahead and turn the crap out of this water. Oh my god, I need to just turn off that tap, because obviously I'll be wasting water. Damn, that would be really sincerely stupid of me doing that. I suppose doing just that, I think. Well, I'm just going to pick this big behemoth up, and I'm basically doing my best to just water as much as I can. I think twice a day would be really, really nice. It's basically in a similar fashion to how I water and look after my plants on a really hot day. Mind you, it's about 19 or 20 degrees Celsius, which honestly, oops, am I getting dirt and mud right over my t-shirt? That's very normal, isn't it? Things which are dirty are quite enjoyable, but not really for some, I suppose, There you go, I'm just watering these guys up so that there's enough moisture for these plants to sustenance and accumulate. Although I do think there are quite a few calendula seedlings that have started to die off. Don't know why am I giving them too much water. Is it probably because, when maybe when the compost turns a little bit lighter, then I start to really notice and realise that, hey, who knows, it might not be that great, I suppose. Let me just water these guys up again. I know these plants are meant to be drought tolerant, but I'm just giving them as much moisture as they can, so that I can feed the plants as much as they want. Yes, that's much nicer. I'll go ahead and talk about the bird feeders, of course, which is nice. And there's actually different variations of bird feeders that you can also get. Obviously, I've now got dirt on my t-shirt. Dang it, it's very embarrassing. Holy crap, I've now got dirt on it. That's not a good news. Sort of sight, I suppose, That's not good news. Right, I'm going to go ahead and start having a bit of a chit-chat about these suet boars or fat boars. Yes, the feeders. I'm actually going to chit-chat about these feeders because, hey, and guess what? That meadow is actually looking really, really nice. Okay, one thing to let you know is that, yes, songbirds will be able to extract as much compost. Well, actually, I wouldn't say compost. So there's actually background noises here, But anyways, with that being said, we've got a lot of songbirds. I think we've got tits, robins, and also a few goldfinches. I'm quite lucky to have a few birds. Dunnocks or hedge sparrows and house sparrows. They're quite nice as well too. yes, this bird feeder is actually quite nicely specialized, but because of the amount of spores or fat balls I've just crumbled apart and stored upon, in fact, I've just stored all of them, and because of, of the fact that I've latched that thing into something else, and because that thing is actually relatively loose, I think most, if not all, of the bird fat balls are actually going to fall off. I think that once this latch opens, I think most, if not all of it, is going to fall out. Especially when you have rambunctious squirrels and very cheeky little squirrels. Squirrels are kind of like monkeys, but then hey, you know what? And also don't forget rats. These crafty rodents would pretty much they'll just straightforward climb up towards, or even in this case, jump and just gnaw into the cages. I don't know, maybe if there's like a squirrel free cage, I'm pretty sure an anti-squirrel sort of cage where it only is more, let's just say cumulative to birds, but not squirrels, but actually sort of repel squirrels. Like there's some sort of trap door for squirrels, especially when they latch their jaws there up into the thing that they're just trying to eat. Yep, that's quite good, but I don't know how much reduction of trichomoniasis is it going to pose. But anyways, these fat balls look really, really nice. And actually, I do have a collection of bird feeders. I actually have another one, of course. I've actually got a lot of plastic bird feeders. Now, this one here has not been washed, so I might as well just go and get some fresh water. I think I might as well just go and get some fresh washing up liquid. And there's also that bird feeder there as well, too, that has also been caught up. I don't know what's going on here, but it's not a great sight. One of the other bird feeders, and it's still got seeds, so I might as well just have to wash this guy as well. Yes, it's been around, and we've actually got a lot of snails. It's now became a bit of a snail hotspot, probably because we're now in this sort of period. I think snails go into a weird period called aestivation. If you know what I mean, it's basically, and the crows are taking over the whole video, and yes, aestivation is basically just a period where you just have dry weather, but then it's I'm pretty sure it's hot or dry weather, I suppose. So, and then at the same time, it's you just want to hibernate just because you want to provide as much moisture just before the rains begin to, let's just say, not culminate, inaugurate. That's a much better word. I don't have anything else to go for, but what we'll try and just do, I'm going to go ahead and start washing this beast, and I'm actually going to go ahead and find, I haven't got anything to wash it down, but I'm just going to go ahead and use, yuck, I've actually got a lot of, look at this wastewater, it stinks like mad. I might as well just pour it right over next to, let's just say where my tool shed is. You can't see it because I'm trying to be very careful towards my tablet. And I'm actually going to go ahead and grab some washing up liquid. I might as well just go ahead and, maybe not this basket, but something else, I think. There you go. Right, just going to go ahead and grab some washing up liquid. I'm just going to go ahead and use a bit of washing up liquid to try and wash this bird feeder. But okay, there's music blowing out as part of the video, but I'm going to go ahead and start using a bird feeder. I don't know what, sorry, I just can't talk. There's a lot of background noise just killing my bloody level of fluency. I don't know if that's actually quite a very good word to describe how fluent my English is. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and clean up this bird feeder. I could try and go and get, maybe I could try and use this bucket, but I wouldn't say that this bucket looks really good. I think it still remains dirty. In that case, I might as well just forbid the idea of using it. Maybe let me use a plastic tub. Maybe this plastic tub might be a better idea. Yes. I've actually got a lot of plastic tubs right over in this part of the area that I'm in at the moment, and I'm actually using quite a lot of washing up liquid to try and clean these guys up for once a week, I suppose. I always tend to do, I always seem to just forget about some reason. I seem to be that totally bad. I think it's best recommended to just, give them a nice cleanse for about a week, I suppose. And yeah, it's my bad for not actually realising this serious decline of several birds. And yeah, it's almost like I'm just cleaning this bird feeder up, and it's like you can't see anything that's dirty, but there actually is inside in that bird feeder. Oh, and then there's the little stain that I've got on my t-shirt. Damn it, am I a little bit embarrassed? Well, no, because a little bit dirty, or a lot dirty, doesn't always that, you know, it doesn't have to be some sort of genuine imbalance. It can be just right. Okay, so that feeder is, I don't know how clean or unclean this is. Maybe there's actually quite a lot of activity here. I'm just going to get rid of it. There's actually so much of it going on. Oh, disgusting. So much of it, isn't it? Trying to wipe out as much of the germs and bacteria that are inside of these feeders. And they are, of course, a massive hotspot for diseases and infections. And also, you know, trichomoniasis. That's what I'm trying to get rid of. Yeah, and there's also a bit of it right here. I'm trying to get rid of it as well. Right from the bottom part. Well, actually, the top part of this bird feeder. How's it going? Is that better? Yes. Okay. So, yes, I'm totally fine. I dare say I can find the big one here and see if that repels any nasty germs. See if that will work. It's got a lot of washing up liquid inside of it. It's a nice thing to try and get rid of as much nasty germs and diseases that are inside these feeders. And they can be real hot spots, especially during the warmer months. You know, throughout, let's say, late spring to, let's just say, mid-autumn. Who knows about that? You know, I suppose the peakish time for it, would that be like summer, I guess? I'm pretty sure it's summer. But anyway, I'm done using up the washing up liquid. There you go, my bird feeder is actually now officially retired. I think the most perplexing thing is that once the bird feeder is now cleaned up, I might as well just have to store it in my tool shed and probably wait until the next month. Who knows about that? Well, I might as well just pour out all of that foam wastewater into here. Or I'd probably suggest, let me try and use something else. Maybe I can use them as just genuine water. Who knows? I wonder if I could just reuse water in a very good way. Maybe we reduce the wastage and recycle the usage of water. Wouldn't that be great, wouldn't it? There you go. I finally have decided to wash out the other bird feeders. It was actually quite nice and convenient. And of course, yes, hey, who knows? Maybe trichomoniasis could also be a, I don't know, I mean, apart from birds, I would actually suggest other animals, I suppose rodents and other critters like that would also get trichomoniasis. But then, yes, I'd like to say thanks to various animal welfare groups and the ISPB for letting me know about the risk awareness about trichomoniasis, because it's sad to see a lot of finch species like, you know, chaffinches, bullfinches and greenfinches. They have been on the steep decline, which is just sad as this is. And actually, hang on, something I didn't realise this. Oh my gosh, I actually didn't realise this. I actually forgot about this compost tub. That's like from a food packaging sort of thing. I didn't even realise it was left behind. I'll try and use it whenever I've got the time to do so. But yeah, that should probably be about it for today's video on YouTube, because I need to go ahead and do some other stuff. So anyways, that video was just all about trichomoniasis and how to raise awareness about it. Of course, you can you can just go and do a bit of research of what trichomoniasis is, and you might as well just want to go to the ISPB website and just, you know, if you see a sick, dead or injured wild bird, you might as well just want to bring up the phone number like I've just brought up into my video information. Of course, do it. It's very much aware, I suppose, you know, conservationists and ornithologists are always up on their game here. They'll always be warning us that nature is straightforward crippling. Sad, isn't it? But anyways, I'm going to leave the video here. If you video about my brief, informative part of just how really severe bad about trichomoniasis and how to avoid it, of course. Please give this video a very good like for such videos in the future. And as always, maybe in the video's time, I might as well try and fill up some more compost. As always, thanks for watching, and bye for now.